Sai Ram, what is prayer? Is prayer asking God for something? Is prayer conversing with God? Is it listening to God? Or is it just silence? Well, prayer is all of these and much more. In fact, I personally believe that there are different stages to prayer and we must evolve along these different stages. And this idea got reinforced in me when I came to know of an amazing experience of a student of the Sri Sathya Institute of Higher Learning. This experience is related to prayer, is related to Swami of course, and is also related to our sweet dear Lord Ganesha. This happened sometime in the 1996 or 1997 to one of the students who had joined the MBA course at the Sri Sathya Institute of Higher Learning. Now this student was very regular and sincere in his prayers to Lord Ganesha. He would always speak to Ganesha, pray to him before he began the day and possibly when he ended the day as well. One such day, as I said sometime in 1996 or 1997, he walked out of the hostel. And right in front of the hostel, there is a little black Ganesha sitting in his little cove over there. So he went to the Ganesha idol and he prostrated, he prayed, and just as he was about to take leave, Ganesha spoke to him. Yes, just as I am speaking to you, Ganesha spoke to him and said, "How is it that all of you just leave me here and go away?" And more than being amazed at the fact that Ganesha was speaking, this brother just thought about the question that Ganesha asked. Yes, when all the students leave, Ganesha must be feeling lonely, right? So spontaneously he just responded, "Ganesha, why don't you also come with us to the institute? Then we'll all be there and we can come back together." Ganesha seemed to like the idea, and from his little altar there, there is one small arch, small sheltered area for Ganesha right in front of the hostel. From there he got down along with the mouse. What happened next is truly incredible and amazing and beautiful. At the same time, it teaches us about the evolution that we have to undergo in the stages of prayer. So this brother that I was referring to, his name is Rameswar Prusty, and this experience has been recorded in multiple videos. He has himself narrated it. It's also in multiple blogs, and every time I read it, a new insight struck me, and this time this was the insight that came. But before that, let's just go through this beautiful experience. So brother Ram and Ganesha are walking on the streets of Puttaparthi, headed from the hostel to the institute. As they were walking, he observed that Ganesha was coming up to his chest level. He was walking so gracefully, draped in a silk dhoti which was green and yellow in color. The mouse was skipping along. Usually Ganesha is Mushika Vahana, meaning he rides the mouse. The mouse is his vehicle. But now he had chosen to walk beside brother Ram, and so Ram and Ganesha were walking together. Ganesha was on to the right side of Ram. He was having wooden sandals and he was playfully moving his trunk, and all of this Ram is seeing just as we see each other. And that is when he got worried that the vehicles that were moving up and down the road, because Ganesha was on to his right side, that they might strike Ganesha. And Ganesha says, no, I am visible only to you, I am invisible to them, and nothing will touch me, you don't worry. And then as they walked, Ganesha was in a mood to speak. He began to share his experiences about how he got the name Ganesha, how he got the elephant head, all the stories that we usually hear from others. Ram is hearing from Ganesha himself, how Ganesha became the Agra Puja receiver, the one who receives the first worship. And in no time, They reach the university, the institute building. Now inside the institute quadrangle there is a Ganesha temple, and it is practice of most of the students to walk up to Ganesha in this temple, touch him, pray to him, seek favors, do all these. As this was happening, Ganesha goes and takes his place in that idol there, and he is blessing all the boys, and he tells Ram to go and attend to his MBA classes. But even as Ram finishes his MBA classes and it's lunchtime, middle of the day there is a break, Ganesha is waiting there to accompany him and walk back to the hostel. This time they talk all the things in the world, spiritual matters, worldly matters, and by the time they reach the hostel, Ram thinks, hey, what about Ganesha's lunch? Ganesha, your lunch. Ganesha says, no, this is not the kind of food that I partake. I partake only jnana, vidya and buddhi. Vidya, that is your vidya, your knowledge, and your buddhi, that is your intellect. That is what has to get enriched with jnana or knowledge, and that is what I partake. So study well and know that I am well fed. And therefore Ganesha didn't partake the lunch that we mortals eat. Again after lunch, Ganesha is there waiting to walk back to the institute, and this time Ram is having 100 questions that he wants to ask Ganesha. But even as they began walking, Ganesha tells him, we have spoken enough now. Now let us just be silent. That was it. From that day onwards, Ram and Ganesha would walk and be together always, neither speaking a word to each other. It is no wonder that Brother Ram also became very silent by nature. That is how you will be if God is by your side always, right? He is holding Ganesha's hand and walking daily, and how will he speak anything that is unnecessary? Only what is absolutely necessary he would speak. And as Brother Ram says, from that day onwards, he found his soulmate, his dearest friend in life. I must add, dear brothers and sisters, that after completing his MBA a few years later, Brother Ram got the great privileged opportunity to serve Swami as a personal attendant. There was also an occasion where in the middle of a discourse, Swami called Brother Rameswar Prusty and praised him, praised his service, praised his dedication, his love and his devotion. Dear brothers and sisters, when Ram narrates this incident, he narrates it in such a matter-of-fact manner that it thrills my heart. Oh my God! Just as I speak about my mother, father, friends, brother, sister, wife, children, like that he is speaking about the Lord, because the Lord is like that. And I felt in his experience, we see the different stages of prayer. In the beginning, it was Ram doing all the talking and Ganesha like an idol sitting and listening. That is the first stage of prayer, when the devotee speaks and the Lord listens. And then one day Ganesha spoke. Ganesha asked him, how can you leave me and go? Then comes the second stage of prayer, where the Lord speaks and the devotee listens. After that, Ganesha narrated his story of how he was born, how he got the head of Ganesha, all that, right? The Lord is speaking and the devotee is listening. And then comes the third stage, where both God and devotee speak, where both God and devotee listen. It's a beautiful conversation. That is what it progressed to. Ram and Ganesha, while walking back from the institute, spoke with each other. And from then, it moves to the ultimate state, where neither God nor devotee speaks, yet both listen. That is what happened. That is the silence that is rich, and that is the silence in which the voice of the Lord is heard, Swami says. This is the progression that we should also achieve in our life, in our prayers. In fact, when we look at Swami's life itself, we see this progression. In the beginning, as a little boy in his teens, he threw away his books, his school bag, and said, I have to go. Why? My devotees are calling me. That was the phase when the devotees spoke and the Lord listened and he responded. Then came the stage where Swami began to speak. Swami wrote in the Sanatana Sarthi, discourses galore, the phase of public discourses. That was when the Lord spoke and the devotees listened. And then came the phase of multiple intimate interviews, and especially in the 2000s when I was there as a student and also a staff member of the Radio Sai Global Harmony, I saw the number of interactions Swami had with devotees through programs, through many things. This was a conversation between God and man, both speaking, both listening. And now, after the Mahasamadhi, we are in a state where neither God speaks nor the devotee speaks, yet both listen in silent communion. This is the inspiration I got from this beautiful story of Ganesha being a friend. Sai is our best friend. He says, don't walk in front of me, I may not follow you. Don't walk behind me, you may not be able to keep up pace with me. Walk by my side, be my friend. Dear Swami, may we always walk side by side with you, shoulder to shoulder with you, hand in hand with you. May we always remember that you are our best friend, and may we always focus all our love and devotion only to you. May the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.